Welcome, everyone, to the Best of Markham podcast, brought to you by me, Igor Klibanov from FitnessSolutionsPlus.ca, your personal trainers for chronic conditions. Here with me today is Charlotte from the Village Hive. Charlotte, thank you so much for being here. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is great. Really appreciate it. So tell me about myself. Well, I don't even know where to start, but I'll start by saying that I'm an entrepreneur. I guess I should start with I'm a mother of two amazing boys that are 17 and 19, and the wife of a wonderful husband who has allowed me to has supported me in pursuing my dreams as an
Beautiful.
entrepreneur.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
of course, you live in Markham.
Yes. Yeah, I've been here for about 20 years. Grew up in Severn Falls and Aurelia, so north of the city, and went to university at Carleton University, then did a 10-month stint in South Korea
Cool.
teaching English as a second language, and that was fantastic experience. Was great until it wasn't. I did get deported from Korea, so that's always a fun fact to talk about. Nothing that I knew I was doing wrong, but it's one of those situations that you get in where you think that you're trusting the company that's hired you to teach English, but then find out there's a little bit of corruptness going on. And
Oh, no.
so my stay was supposed to be a year, but it was shortened by a couple months. And but that led me to some traveling in Singapore and Thailand, and yeah, it all worked out for the best. And it's a great story to tell. So
Amazing.
then I
And
ended up in Toronto and now Markham.
okay, well, welcome here for the last 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And how did you get to be the owner of the Village Hive?
Yeah, so I moved to Markham just before, well, I got married to my husband and had children. And at that time, I was working I was working in health human resources. So I was working mostly in physician recruitment. So it started out with the Professional Association of Interns and Residents. So I was working with resident doctors, medical students, and helping them navigate really their career after they finished their residency programs and were ready to become doctors and work in Ontario. So I've always I started off my career in helping people in human resources,
Mhm.
and from that, I was working in Toronto, ended up working in Markham. And if I wanted to advance in my career, it meant after I moved to Markham, I would have to start commuting back downtown. And
Mhm.
I had two young kids, and I really wasn't interested in doing that. But in between kind of all of that, the great thing is I was working at that time for a government agency, and they did allow me to work from home sometimes.
Mhm.
And it was a really great program. Actually, it was a trailblazing program. It was introducing physician assistants into the province of Ontario.
Nice.
And working from home, and that was many years ago, it was great because I could pick my kids up right, at the end of the day or even
Yeah.
end a little bit early, didn't have to commute, so more family time in the evenings, but I felt lonely. I didn't really I like having people around me. I always have. I've always been more of a social person and just enjoy having people working around me and just feeling more accountable when I have people around me, more productive, more focused. And so it was kind of early on that I realized I didn't like working from home, but I advanced in my career and I took different jobs. And eventually I ended up at Markham Stouffville Hospital working there for, I guess it was about a year and a half as a part time contract, and also working from home again part time as a consultant. And once again, although I loved what I was doing and I love the freedom of having my own, like being a freelancer and consultant, I love that freedom.
Mhm.
But I was once again working from home part of the time and didn't enjoy that. So, to make a long story even longer, I I was introduced to coworking, which is what the Village Hive is. It's a
Yeah.
coworking space for entrepreneurs and remote workers. I was introduced to the whole concept of coworking. I guess it was 2015. I went to the Center for Social Innovation in Toronto,
Yeah.
and that was where I discovered what coworking was. And I thought, this is a really cool space.
Yeah.
And not really enjoying my job at the hospital. I learned quickly that that's not really what I wanted to be doing is Monday to Friday, although it was Monday to Wednesday, 9 to 5, very high stress environment. And, it takes us very special people, I think, to work in a hospital environment.
Mhm.
Discovered that that was not me. And, but again, I didn't want to work from home full time. So I thought, I wonder if Markham could use a co-working space.
Yeah.
So I talked to my husband about it, and I meanwhile, like I had been driving by this beautiful space in Markham. I don't know if you know where I am, Igor, but it's in an old schoolhouse in Markham Village, so on Albert Street. And
Okay.
I'd driven by it many times, and I said to my husband, even before I had the idea of opening a co-working space, I love that building, and I pictured myself working in
Yeah.
this space. And then a for lease sign came up,
Oh,
and talked about the co-working idea again, and decided, you know what, I think I want to give it a go. So I opened up the Village Hive in Markham Village in 2016.
yeah.
And yeah, that's how it all started. And now I have three spaces. So Markham, North York, and Yonge and Eglinton.
Oh, very exciting.
Yeah,
And so did it feel risky to open up a co-working space?
it did. It really did. But I felt confident that I was not the only person out there that was working from home and feeling a little bit of like that isolation. And so initially it was entrepreneurs that started with me.
Yeah.
And then slowly, as the world changed, and even before COVID, there were more and more remote opportunities for people just
Hmm.
because it's so much easier to connect remotely, like we're doing right now, even though we're in the same city, but you can work for a company anywhere in the world now.
Yeah.
And so we were getting more remote workers in. And the reason they were coming in was because they just didn't want to work from home by themselves, or they had a spouse at home, or there was children at home, or their dog, was pestering them all day long. And then with COVID, of course, we had to close down, and that was difficult for a short time, or for longer than I wanted. But then after that, more people working from home, and then it was like, some people working on their top floor of their house, and the next, another person working on
Yeah.
the main floor, and competing phone calls and loudness. And so we find we have, although we still have a lot of entrepreneurs, there's quite a few remote workers that work from our spaces as well.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was a definitely a risk, but I was worth, I started small,
Yeah.
so, and then grew as the demand grew, so that was the
You
safe
started,
way to do it.
yeah. When you say you
Hmm.
started small, what do you mean by that? Square footage or something else?
Yeah, square footage. Yeah, started very small. I only had about 8 members to begin with.
Yeah. And obviously,
Yeah.
it's a big enough success for you to open up two more locations.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. What do you like
Yeah.
most about being the owner of the Village Hive
Mm.
and entrepreneurship?
Uh, Pardon me?
But what do you like most about being the owner of the Village Hive and more broadly entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think it's meeting people, meeting new people, and collaborations. I Not only do I love collaborating with other business owners and entrepreneurs, but I love connecting people. And
Mhm.
even in my previous roles in healthcare, like I was connecting doctors to hospitals or to practices, and I worked in HR, in other positions too. And I feel like that's really what I'm great at, is connecting people. So listening to somebody's story, I think it takes a good listener too, like listening to what somebody's business is, and taking an interest in it, meeting somebody else and saying, "Oh my gosh, you guys should talk."
Yeah.
And so I love doing that, and that happens in my Markham space. I visit my other two locations, and just chatting with people and getting to know them. I think that's my favorite part of the business, and being an entrepreneur, and also just being the owner of my time and my space and taking an idea and just like going for it, trying it. And,
Yeah,
if it doesn't work, oh, well, you just try something else. So
yeah,
I love being able to do that. And it's very rewarding and fun. And I think really, and I've always thought this is, we work a lot, for most people, it's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And
not
my,
entrepreneurs.
yep,
Monday to
yep,
Sunday, when I open my eyes to when I close my eyes.
yep, exactly. And so I think that's what's so exciting about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's one of the things that's most attractive to me about entrepreneurship is experimentation. Any given time, I'm running 3 to 5 different marketing experiments. Of the experiments that I run, maybe 1 in 25 is a success, and 24 out of 25 are failures. So
Yes. Yep.
statistically, I expect most of the experiments I run to fail, but hope that they succeed. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah. So that's that. It is very, very exciting because when you have that success, it often takes business to the very next level.
Yes. Absolutely.
And what do you do for marketing? How do you find new clients and customers?
I think networking is one of the best things that I do. And again, that's comes back to connecting with people. But I try to get out to as many networking events, and taking advantage of that
Yeah.
is, I think, meeting people in person builds that trust and those relationships.
Mhm.
So while I do the conventional like marketing, so social media, I have a social media coordinator that I hired actually through Seneca College, and she's incredible.
Yeah.
So last summer, I got an email from Seneca College saying, "Do you want to take one of our students for an internship, 100 hours?" And I've had co-op students before, and they can be a lot of work. They could, there's a lot of hand holding and all of that, and it hasn't been always successful. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. It's college level and a post grad certificate. Students. So I brought Mandy on, and she was amazing. And then I found out she was actually one of the top in her class, and I
Wow.
kept her on. And so she was doing social media for me for since last summer, 2 days a week. And then she got a full time job recently. And I'm like, oh no, what am I going to do?
No, you're losing.
But she said, I'd love to stay on. And so she takes care of my Instagram, Facebook. Um, and then we do other things like we do Google ads for my Toronto locations. But again, I think going to like the Markham Board of Trade, I go to GTApreneurs, attend the Businesswomen Network of York Region, Fem City, and getting out there and just going to the same places and meeting the same people over and over, and just kind of delivering your message is what I think. And being so passionate about your business
Yeah.
is something that you can only really deliver that message in person. And
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That comes through
yeah,
in face-to-face communications,
yeah,
especially when you're selling something that people will be renting for at least a month, but probably longer.
yeah.
Yeah. So what percent of your business would you say comes from networking versus organic social media versus paid social media, paid ads?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the exact percentage, but, and I should know these statistics as a business owner, like, but I would say, um, we do get a lot of Google Ads, leads. However, I think word of mouth and referrals and networking would be where we get most of our leads for co-working. So because we offer meeting space as well
Right.
as offices,
Yeah.
so our meeting space referrals will mostly come from our website or from Google, our Google business page, like people doing research, for sure, for meeting space.
Yeah.
And then for co-working, I think people, it is a lot of word of mouth. I think for the co-working, and offices, again, probably more from our website or Google Ads.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always interesting to me to hear what entrepreneurs do for their business. And
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is that there's more than one way to get to the same end goal. I
Yeah, absolutely. And Google Ads is, I mean, it's quite expensive, but the return on investment has been good.
Yeah, yeah. I never think of anything in terms of cheap or expensive. I think about it exactly like that, return on investment. If I spend
Yeah.
$1,000, do I get 1,001 back? Uh,
Yes.
right? Is it worth it? That's always the
Yeah.
question. Not is it expensive or not, because it's an abstract concept. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
versus what do I get?
Yeah, exactly. And if it's a reoccurring, somebody's renting an office every month or renting a meeting space, once a week, then it's definitely worth that
100%.
that
Yeah.
click.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you pay $40 per click and I don't know, 20% of your clicks convert, but then that person who becomes a client or customer rents for years to come,
Yeah.
easy ROI.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Like I said, if you like social media, you can do that. But if you don't like it, you can do other stuff. For example, I
Yeah.
knew one car mechanic. He he stopped being a car mechanic for half the time. So instead of doing 40 hours per week, he did it 20 hours per week. He spent the other 20 hours networking and doubled in
Oh,
business in 1 year. Um,
wow.
that
That's
was
interesting.
or
Yeah.
so I actually volunteer for the city of Markham as a small business mentor. So I get to hear all these stories from other entrepreneurs. So I knew
Oh,
one
that's great.
yeah, I knew one dentist who all he did for his marketing was this. At the end of each day, he would spend an hour calling his patients from the previous 2 days. That's it. He wouldn't have his receptionist calling. He would personally call the
Yeah.
patients and stuff. How are you doing? Are your teeth in pain? Are your gums in pain? Everything fine? And that's it. It didn't even matter if they didn't pick up the phone. He left a voice message. Just that doubled his business in a matter of I think 3 years.
That's
Um,
impressive. Wow,
didn't
that's a
have
great
anything else. Yeah.
nobody else does that.
No, exactly. That's why it was
Yeah.
so unique and it cost him no money, just some time.
Yeah.
1 hour out of, an 8 hour workday or whatever it is.
And then his patients would say to their friends, "My dentist actually calls me," and like, "Oh, who's your dentist?" Because yeah.
Exactly.
Wow,
Exactly.
that's really cool.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, who do people refer the most? Their family members, their kids,
Yeah.
their parents, their siblings, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy word of mouth for him. And same thing for me. Like I don't I'm very, very bad at social media. Uh, but I also am mad because for my business, there's no profit in it. Social media is great for businesses that are lower commitment than personal training. Personal training is
Yes.
higher commitment. But in my case, my favorite and my most effective marketing strategies are, believe it or not, door-to-door sales, public speaking.
Really?
Yeah, I kid you not. Public speaking, email marketing, and writing books. Books for yes, they make money on Amazon directly, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But they also get me personal training clients. Um,
Yeah. That's great.
so yeah, those
How
are
many
those are my
ebooks do you have?
18 so far, and probably 19 by August, September.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
I figured out the
Congratulations.
formula for writing books. It takes me
Yeah.
between 7 and 12 days to write one book. Now that's just writing. Publication takes longer because there's illustrations, there's editing,
Yeah.
other stuff to it. But the actual like writing segment is only 7 to 12 days per book.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But I always say writing a book is easy. Marketing a book, that's difficult. Like selling a book is hard. Uh,
Yeah, so how do you market your books?
I actually wrote an
You're
entire book
speaking.
about how to sell
Oh,
books.
how to
It's kind
Oh,
of the,
okay.
the bestseller blueprint. But in a nutshell, for me, again, it's email marketing is very effective for getting clients, but it's also very effective for getting book sales. So
Yes.
before the book goes live, just to test for interest, I tell my subscribers, and at this time, there's about 16,800 of them. So tell my subscribers, I'm publishing a book about whatever the topic is. This coming one is anxiety, the one that just passes inflammation. Um, if you're interested, sign up. If I get enough signups, I write the book. If I don't get enough signups, I don't write the book.
Oh,
Right? After all,
that's
why spend so much time, energy, and money to write a book that nobody wants to read? The only person who thinks that
yeah.
book is a good idea is me. That would not
Yes.
be a very good investment of time and money. But
Yeah.
if I have enough signups to make it worth my while, then I get to work and write the book. Um, Once the book is
Huh.
written, I'll tell my email subscribers the book is out. It's at a steep discount until X day and time, usually 4 to 12 days out. After
Yeah.
this point, the price is going up to the normal price. And in addition to that, if you purchase it before this date, there are a bunch of cool bonuses. You can get one of my other books for free if you buy this one at a discount. You can get a consultation with me. Usually it costs $80 for 15 minutes. Now it's free. So I throw in a bunch of bonuses. And it
That's
also
great.
comes with, I think, two reminders.
Hmm.
saying the deadline is getting closer, closer, closer. So I sent one reminder the day of the last day of the sale, and then
Hmm.
4 hours before the end of the sale. Um,
Oh,
and so
that works for me. That's actually smart. I would be
yeah,
buying that book for
yeah,
sure.
check it out. Yeah.
I
But
better get on your email list.
I'm happy to send you my newsletters, both for you to see my marketing as a
Yes.
background, but also to learn some things about fitness and nutrition.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
that's what I love about entrepreneurship, and I'm always testing new strategies, like 3 to 5
Yeah.
tests at any given time.
Hmm.
Now, what are you working on right now that's exciting to you?
Oh, well, a couple things actually. That's the thing. There's always new things, and some of them don't come to fruition. But you know what? Even just being excited about something is fun. But right now, without saying too much, I am working on a second co-working space in Markham.
Oh, very exciting.
Yes. With a it's would be a partnership, not necessarily a Village Hive, but I see the need, and I haven't been able to expand in Markham.
Yeah,
And at one time, actually, a few years ago, I almost had a second space in Markham. And then at the last minute, the landlord was like, "No, I don't think I want a co-working space in the building because of parking issues and da da da." But anyway, and when I sent that email out that, Markham, downtown Markham area coming soon co-working, people
yeah,
were like, "Oh, wow, this is exciting."
yeah.
So now that this other opportunities come up, I'm pretty sure that it will do very well. So it's happening very quickly, and the plans are, hopefully it would even open up next month. So
Ooh,
that's what I'm very excited about. And then I also work as a consultant. I have a consulting partner in the US, David Walker, with coworkingconsulting.com. And we've got some fun projects that we're on a call today with a potential exciting partnership with another company. So yeah, lots going on. And then
that's very exciting.
I have the best staff in the world that manage my co-working spaces and my part-time people that allows me to do these new projects. So
Yeah, yeah. One of the other beauties of entrepreneurship, you get to work with people only people you like.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. If they don't work out, well,
See you later.
next.
Good luck somewhere
Yep,
else. Yeah.
that's right.
So will
Yeah,
there be a grand opening for the new location?
absolutely.
I would
You will
love
be
to know where it
invited.
is. Absolutely. I'd love to come.
Yeah.
And what obstacles have you encountered in your time as an entrepreneur?
Oh, yes. So I think one of the biggest things is, trying to do everything myself and
Yeah.
not getting overwhelmed before almost when it's too late, but it's never too late. I think what I've learned is just you need to sometimes spend money to make money. And so if that means hiring somebody to help you so that you can grow,
Yeah.
but I still, even though I know that, I still, it becomes an obstacle sometimes because you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can afford to hire somebody, but I can't afford not to,
Yes.
and then also um, finding the right people to work with. You know, I had some rough times early on when I thought I had a good partner in the business, and it turned sour very quickly.
Mhm.
But trusting somebody, and it's not that I don't trust people, but just a little bit more leery and not being too quick to say yes to things
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm like a yeah, let's do it kind of thing before I need to say, you know what, let me think about
Yes.
that for a few days and then instead of going, yep, let's do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think those are my biggest kind of obstacles for sure.
Once you've been burned enough times, you start to become a little more skeptical. Or in my case, I've been burned enough times
Yeah.
that I'm cynical. I'm past the point.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I hear that. Um,
Important lessons.
absolutely. Um, I know you're super busy, but what do you do in your free time?
Yes. So in my free time, well, I love to spend time with my family, of course. And we have a great time when we're together. One of my sons is off to university. So really enjoying spending time with him this summer while he's home. And I grew up north of Aurelia on the water. So I love spending time on the lake. I love kayaking
Oh, yeah.
in my free time. My husband and I really enjoy, and when the kids were younger, going on hikes and being out in nature. I just spent a weekend, I think it's, I don't know how many years we've been going in Aurelia at Mariposa Folk Festival.
Yeah.
And so, like, going to live music, especially outdoors, is like something absolutely love to do.
Yeah, yeah. Summer here and good weather is such a limited time offer. We have to take advantage of every minute,
Yeah.
like outdoor music festivals, go to the
Yep.
water, the lake.
Yep.
Absolutely. I totally get
Yep.
that.
I think, I don't know, I can see my husband and I ending up retiring on the water at some point, having a place on the water. So we're lucky we've got family and friends that do, but I
Yeah.
want to be able to wake up and see the sunrise and watch the sunset and every day.
You have a specific place in mind?
I don't know. I mean, it could be. He's from Sault Ste. Marie, and while it's beautiful up there, and St. Joseph Island is somewhere we go every year. It's a
Yeah.
gorgeous space up in northern Ontario. Um, it's a little far from family and friends, but maybe Aurelia. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. We got plenty of options.
Yeah,
Especially in
absolutely.
Ontario. I heard we have something like over 100,000 lakes here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. No problems finding some water, and there's a house attached to it.
There's got to be. That's the dream.
Yeah. And since this is, after all, a Best of Markham podcast, what's your favorite business in Markham besides your own?
Yes, you did tell me about this question, and I am one to, if you ask me what my favorite food is or my favorite color or anything like that, I don't have favorites. I don't have a favorite. I have
Yeah.
favorites.
Okay.
So quickly, I will tell you, like, so one of our favorite places to go eat since my husband and I, even before we got married, is Falco's on Main Street,
Oh,
Markham,
yes,
for their
yes,
Italian
yes.
food.
I keep
So
meaning to
good.
go there.
Yeah, it's so great, and my kids love going there. My mom loves going there. My mom, and so it's a favorite family place to go for dinner. Rouge River Brewery is the owners, Kristen and Jordan, are awesome. They've
Yeah.
got great beer, so love going there for a beer or picking up some beer, and for live events. For shopping, I have to say, Eight on Main
Yeah.
is my favorite place to shop. It's a great store, boutique space on a boutique shop on Main Street, Markham.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of favorites on Main Street, I tell you. If I need to relax, Soulish Massage Therapy, best place to go
I
for
get
a
there.
massage.
Yeah.
Yep, they're awesome.
Who's your therapist?
Um, Pardon me?
Who's your massage therapist over there?
Oh, I usually go to Lisa.
Ah, okay, okay. I go to Michelle.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle's awesome. Yeah, she's so great.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
And yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that
And
whole
then
stretch. So many great
what's
places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A couple others I'll mention
Yeah,
too,
go
because I
ahead.
love going to farmers markets. Fresh
Yeah.
Heads by Yosa.
I was
They
market on Saturday
Were you?
as a vendor. Yeah.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Right there,
That's
right here, Focals.
Oh, wait, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
what's the other business you wanted to mention?
Oh, Honey Hill Farms, which is right across from Fresh Heads by Yosa, and it's a flower farm and honey. So yeah, those are my favorite places in Markham. See, I couldn't say just one.
Yeah, you know what? I can't blame you because when somebody turned out one of my past guests turned that question around on me and asked me what's my favorite business in Markham. Same thing. I can't narrow it down to one. There's for me mostly restaurants, but uh,
Yeah.
there were so many. There is, I mean, but both of Keith Barris's restaurants I love, like the actual restaurant Pears, as well as the one in Thornhill, the Markham side of Thornhill,
What's
um,
it called?
Glass Kitchen.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, that one's amazing. There's a bunch of other ones. There's a bunch of the podcast guests actually happen to be some of my favorite businesses. So yeah, I'm same as you. I can't narrow it down to one.
I know there's so many great ones.
Yeah, yeah. Well, those are awesome ones for me to hit up. And how can our viewers and listeners get in touch with you?
Well, they can email me at charlotte at thevillagehive.ca or on Instagram, Facebook at the Village Hive Coworking, and or LinkedIn, Charlotte Kirby.
Perfect. And all those details will be in the show notes in the description as well. Charlotte, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.